Alright guys, today we got a 2018 Polaris 1000 Highlifter in the shop, and it's got a leaky front differential seal on it. We're going to take you through the steps on what you got to do to replace the axle seal on it. So we're going to get it up on our lift, take our wheel off. Then we're going to take all this stuff right here loose and everything, pull our axle out and get into our seal. So let's get this thing picked up and get started on it. Now that we got our tire off and out of the way, we're going to take loose our tie rod in. Get it out of the way. Then we're going to take loose our brake caliper. You got a bolt there and a bolt there. Slide it out of the way. Then we're going to take loose our ball joint bolts, which is there and there. Kind of hiding back there. And then we're going to take this off, our axle bolt. We'll probably take it loose before we take our ball joint bolts loose, take our quarter pin out and stuff. And then all this slide off. And then we'll get ready to take off our shock and stuff to remove our axle. A few taps right there. Usually then pop off fairly easy. I don't usually reuse Carter keys or pins, whichever one you want to call them. In most cases, not all cases, but 90% of the axles I've messed with on these Polarises has always been a 27mm axle nut. From what I've seen with what I've messed with, these are always usually a 15 on your caliper. These are usually a 15 front and back as well, unless they've been changed on your ball joints. Now in some cases, like this right here, you can see we took this out, but we didn't have to take this hub assembly right here all the way off. So we just left it dangling off the ball joint. We was able to slip our axle past it. Most of the time, we do have to take this shock loose and pull that A-arm up, so we are allowed to pull the axle straight out because it does not want to come out at an angle. They pull a lot easier pulling straight out. So now we're going to take, I didn't even want to chance it on this because everybody knows how stubborn axles can be, and we've got one bolt here. We'll take the bolt out, then take us a bungee cord and tie this up to where we can just get a straight pull on it, and maybe everything will work perfectly and it'll come right out. This too is going to be a 15mm, in case you're wondering. On this one it is, and for the most of them that I've seen, it usually is. On yours it may be different. Since this one does have the wonderful Polaris front sway bar, we will have to take it loose in order to get our A-arm to adjust up. And it is also a 15. Now guys, I usually don't go through listing every size of the bolts and stuff, because there's usually somebody down in the comments saying that theirs is not this size or something. If it's not that size, usually it's because somebody's replaced it. I've done bow-coodles and bow-coodles of these, and most of the time every one of these is the same exact size that I've done listed, unless it's been changed. Every great once in a while run across one that's been changed, or it's a little bit different model or something, but most of the time that's what it's going to be. So we're going to take this loose to get our A-arm up out of the way. So once you get everything up, you should be able just to, and that came out really easy, easier than I thought it was going to. So as you can see, axle seal has been leaking. So now it's time to get that axle seal out and get the new one in. Okay, so now we got everything cleaned up where we can see it all nice and good. There's a couple different ways you can get this out. Whichever way you feel comfortable with is the way you need to do it. So you can go in here and get you a screwdriver and work around in here and prise it out, or you can run you a screw in here and use a hammer, claw hammer or something, and use it to pry it out. Although you have to be very careful because there is a bearing in behind here and you do not want to damage the bearing. That being said, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you need to use your screwdriver and some picks and stuff to pry this out. So whichever way you feel comfortable with is the way you need to try to do this. We're going to try to do the screw method, so we're going to do that and be right back with y'all. Now what I've done, you see the little indentions on the seal. I placed my screw in one of them and put it in. And just like that, very first try, we got it out. Now I want to show y'all exactly what we did. Tried to put it in another spot, didn't want to work, so I put it in one of the indented spots on the seal right here. You can see how far my screw went in. You can see we did not damage anything. And the bearing is probably a good little over a quarter inch back up in there. So everything looks good. As far as that goes, we're going to change the fluid in that. Now it's time to put a new bearing in, or a new seal in, excuse me. I always like to compare my parts with the old one, which they match, and these have numbers on them. So if you guys are looking for parts and stuff to complete a task like this, I'll have everything listed down in the description, along with cleaner and stuff and the seals and stuff to do a seal like this, or seals for the complete differential. So now we're going to put this seal in, and it is fairly simple. We're just going to place it up here, and then we'll just kind of push it in, and we might have to give it a few gentle taps, but nothing too serious. That's just me pushing it up with my hand. You want it to be flush to the outside of this cover, and I'll show you just a second when I get it all the way in there. So we're going to get something, just kind of tap it in there very gently, and I'll show you just that in just a second. So we got it in there just a little more than flush with the case. Everything looks good. Now guys, all you gotta do is just reassemble everything we took apart, and everything should go back together. The only thing I recommend doing is on the end of your axle, before you put it back into your differential, is put some anti-seize on it. Makes it a lot easier about these things coming in and out, especially if you play in the water and mud with these things. And on the end where it goes into the knuckle assembly where the bearings and stuff are at, anti-seize it. And one other thing, I know a lot of people probably know what this is, some people don't. This is a bearing greaser. You slide it up in here just like so, and this greases your bearings for your wheel bearings and stuff. This right here is a big time saver. It's got a little grease fitting there on the end. You can grease it and you'll see the grease start coming out of the bearing on the back side and stuff. I have a 2018 Polaris 1000 myself that is still running the factory bearings, because when I put brakes on mine and stuff, I always grease my bearings. I make it part of my regular service, and I've never had no trouble out of my factory bearings. So I'll have this linked down in the description as well, with the seals and stuff for this thing. So don't forget to check that out. It's a big time saver on your bearings. Works great for these machines. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you guys following along, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.